Hey guys, welcome back to WD18, the Watford fans channel. It is me, Shane, here for another preview. This time the Golden Boys head to Anfield on Wednesday night to take on Liverpool in an 8 o'clock kickoff. Before we get into that game, let's have a bit of a chat in regards to our last game, and what a game it was as well, last Friday night, as the Hornets absolutely pummeled Cardiff 5-1 at the Cardiff City Stadium, including a hat-trick for Gerard Deulofeu and 2 goals for Troy Deeney. What a game that was! I'm still buzzing off that one. Just such a fantastic team performance as well. As I say, 2 standout players in Deulofeu and Deeney did the business for us, and what was potentially actually quite a tricky game for us. But we made Cardiff look like a championship, a League One kind of side really. Their defence was all over the place. Cardiff, I thought the way they set up was actually pretty suicidal actually in that second half, pushing forward, and Watford had all Watford had to do was pick them off, which they did at ease really. Gerard Deulofeu, standout performance there. First player to score a hat-trick since Mark Falco back in the 80s, and of course it's our first hat-trick since our promotion as well, in the Premier League. One that will live long in the memory as well, and made the very long, arduous journey there and back all the more worth it. But we go into the game, of course, on Wednesday night with a bit of a bounce. We're coming up against one of the league's big hitters in Liverpool. We'll go on to talk about Liverpool in just a little bit, but before we do, let's have a bit of a chat in regards to some team news for Watford. 2 bits of team news for us. Of course, Kiko Femenia is still out injured for Watford and won't play any part in Wednesday night's game. Javi's not sure as to when he'll actually be back. Hopefully he's back soon. I hope he's back for the Leicester game on Sunday. But we will have to make do without him. And on the other side, we'll have to make do without Jose Holebas, who sees out the last of his 2-match suspensions. Of course, he missed the Cardiff game. Adam Messina deputised for him as well. I thought Messina put in a very good shift there, and it'll be down to the Italian to do exactly the same again on Wednesday night. Let us have a look then and a bit of a think about a predicted lineup for the game. I'm not going to change anything really in regards to my predicted lineup. Thinking goal will of course be Ben Foster. I think he could be crucial on Wednesday night. The back 4. Daryl Janmaat, Craig Cathcart, Adrian Mariappa and Adam Messina. 2 in the midfield for me, Abdoulaye Doucouré and Etienne Capoue. Right side of midfield, I'm going to change this up a little bit from my previous, my previous predictions as well. Right side of midfield, I'm going to pick Will Hughes. Reason for that is because I think he put in a very good shift against Cardiff. He was always looking to get on the front foot, always looking to attack. He looked really good. I think it was actually one of his better games, I think, for us. So for me, right side of midfield is Will Hughes. Left side of midfield, I'd go for Roberto Pereira. And up front, yes, I'm going to pick them up front together for the first time of probably this season. Deeney and Deulofeu up top for us. It'll be a different kind of game for them, but I don't see us changing anything really. We've come off the back of such a great win. I think it would dent confidence in the side, in the whole, in regards to team morale, if we were to make any changes, really. It was a near-on perfect performance from Watford. I don't see there have been any need to change. There is, of course, maybe the potential. I mean, you could look at it and say, Liverpool deal very well with through balls, etc. You've got their 2 big centre-backs there, who I think will be John Matip and Virgil van Dijk. On Wednesday night, they're very good at intercepting those, and, is this maybe the game for Deulofeu? Would we be better with someone like Andre Gray? I don't know the actual answer to that question, but it is maybe a potential place that Javi may well consider changing. But I can't see Deulofeu being dropped, given the fact that he scored a hat-trick. His confidence is probably sky high at the moment. Let us now move on and have a chat in regards to Liverpool. Now, Liverpool's last 5 games have been a bit disappointing from their perspective. 4 draws and a win. The win coming, of course, at Anfield on the 9th of February as they beat Bournemouth 3-0, a very comfortable 3-0 win. I remember that game due to a Gini Wijnaldum, I think it was a Gini Wijnaldum lob. Fantastic finish as well from him. And then, of course, the other set of matches haven't been as good really for Liverpool. Of course, they've drawn at Anfield against Bayern Munich, against Leicester City, got an away day draw on Monday night against West Ham United, and of course, on the Sunday just gone, they played out a drab 0-0 draw away at Old Trafford in a game that Sky hyped up massively and just didn't live up to expectations really. A game that was also fraught with a lot of injuries. For United, Liverpool did pick up a big injury though that day, and that's kind of gone under the radar. That big injury is to Roberto Firmino. Now, if we move on to team news, Firmino doesn't look likely to start against us. I can't imagine that he will. Personally, I think if he's injured, he'll definitely be rested for it or given time to recuperate. It kind of touches on another point I was going to make. This is a big week for Liverpool coming up. Of course, they played United on Sunday. They've got us midweek, but they have got the big Merseyside derby at Goodison Park on Sunday afternoon. And that will be in Klopp's mind. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Of course, they're going to want to get themselves a victory here, get back to winning ways again. He will be cautious of the fact that they've got a big game on Sunday, and one that means more to the fans than Watford visiting Anfield on Wednesday night. In regards to other kind of team news as well, Andy Robertson is set to be assessed ahead of the game. I think he had his, I believe he had his wrist in a brace. I think after the United game, he picked up an injury there, so potentially Robertson could be out. Elsewhere, Dan Lovren will be out of the game, as will Joe Gomez and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain with long-term injury. How do I see the game going on Wednesday night? I think first of all, and I know I said this in my Cardiff match reaction, I don't fear Liverpool. I don't fear going to Anfield. It's not like previous seasons, oh my god, let's try and keep the scoreline down. There is a bit of that in regards to the quality Liverpool have, but I'm confident that the lads can put in a good, proper, spirited performance. That's kind of all I asked for, really. It would be unbelievable to see Watford get the win. I can't see that happening personally, but as I say, we put in a good performance. We start brightly as well. I always find it, and I think especially away from home against some of the big sides, we don't tend to start very well. I especially noticed that I think at Wembley this season, where we played Spurs. Spurs were on the front foot for vast majority of that game, and whilst we took the lead, we didn't really push on from that. I think on Wednesday night, it'll be a case of who scores first. I think if Liverpool score first, they could go on and claim a very big win for themselves. I think if we score first, it's crucial we try and add a second to it. And that's not out the question, really. There's a newfound optimism, as I keep saying here at Watford. And actually, I wouldn't necessarily say, Liverpool, they consider themselves favourites. I've spoken to a couple of Liverpool fans who are more than wary of the threat that Watford carry. They're more than wary of some of our danger players in there. They look at someone like De La Feu. All right, he's ex-Everton. I'm sure he'll get an interesting reception every time he's on the ball. But they're aware that there are players in that side, the likes of Doucouré, the likes of De La Feu, Deeney even as well, that can put in a shift. People like Capu, Doucouré, and they can have decent games as well for us. Of course, we don't tend to fare very well at Anfield, but at home at Vicarage Road, we've done very well against Liverpool. All right, we lost 3-0 earlier on this season, but again, if refereeing decisions had gone our way, we should have had a penalty when the scores were 0-0. And the season before that, of course, we drew 3-3 at Vicarage Road in what was an absolutely pulsating game of football. Miguel Britos' header as well, equalising the scores. It added on time. We've given this Liverpool side a good run for their money in previous years. We've been unlucky, I think, at Anfield. Their quality's simply just been unstoppable at times. But as I say, I go into this game with nothing to fear. And as I say, as long as Javi picks a good side, we go out there, we do ourselves proud. It will be a little bit about keeping the score down, as I say, but just go out there, see what happens, really. Ultimately, if we do lose Liverpool, we've got chances to bounce back this season. We've got Sunday, of course, against Leicester City, which I think is a bigger game for us, personally. I think between now and the end of the season, our home games are the most important. It's about making the Vic as much of a fortress as we possibly can. Of course, trying to pick up the main wins there. And on the road, we've got a tricky run in regards to our away games. So let's see what happens in that regard. I'm going to leave that preview there. Thank you very much for watching. I sadly won't be at Anfield on Wednesday nights. However, keep an eye on WD18 and on all the socials as well. I'm sure we will have a lot of content, as we do have a few people going up to Anfield for that. In the meantime, as I say, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to turn on notifications, and I'll see you next time.